Hi, it's me again with Corel Tips and Tricks. Somebody sent me this file, and they were able to bring the outer part down. They want to elongate the cross, and I've just done it. There's something you could maybe put in the center of that. But I got good news and bad news. One, this design isn't going to work, because if you cut that out and then cut this out, that centerpiece is going to fall out because there's nothing holding it. I mean, when you do this, it's going to fall out of the center of that cross. So we need to work on that maybe at another time, and maybe you'll get back to me. The reason you couldn't elongate this, well, first of all, whenever I do something like this, I'm going to go to Effects and Group and ungroup it. And even though now, so with this, this is how he elongated it. You know, if you hold down your control button, you'll get it straight up and down. But this doesn't click and the nodes don't show. Well, that's because that's a group. And you can see how big it is. So you need to go to Object and Group and ungroup it again. Now, you can lower this, but there's a lot of cleaning up to do. I'm going to get rid of these two nodes. I'm going to get rid of a lot of nodes just to make it easier. So I'm going to take the shape tool and I'm going to grab all those nodes and hit delete. Now you can see that one turned into a curve. So I'm going to select that node, shift select that node, then I'm going to right click and turn it into a line and put it back. So I'm going to get rid of those two nodes. And that's not that big a deal. There's a lot of nodes that don't need to be here. You know, if we look real close, the triangle is a little bit curved, so that's fine. So what we can do now with the shape tool, let me get rid of that other node too. We can grab this and then start moving, hold down the control button, and you'd want to measure it. But then it's not going to be equal. And so if we grab the shape tool or the pick tool now and actually click on this, holding down the control button, and you'd want to, you know, maybe measure it. But we need to figure out how to get this to elongate. I've got my nudge factor set on 10 inches. I'm going to hit the plus key on the keyboard. I'm going to mirror that. I don't have to do the inside. I just have to do this side. So I'm going to take a 2-point line. I don't really have to do that line, but I'm going to go all the way across. And then because we've nudged, I can nudge that line over when I hit the plus key. And I can see now I didn't get that outer line, but I don't need that outer line. Well, I do. Tell you what we're going to do. We're going to take the outer line and just move it out of the way for a minute. Now I'm going to take my virtual segment delete key and I'm going to delete the top half. And on this side, I'm going to delete the bottom half. I somehow got that. Oh, see that line I didn't put that line all the way. So you can just take your shape tool and then and just delete that bottom half. So now what we can do is get rid of those extra lines and we can move this right back over. And it looks like I got rid of my outside line. So let me back up here. Yeah, I didn't have, well, okay, this one, I did not move it. There's the problem. I didn't move that out of the way. That was what I was, so I moved them. So I'm going to take the bottom and then take the top. And now we can get rid of these lines by just hitting delete. And now I'm just going to nudge this back over, but then I'm going to bring this one back. Well, we don't have to. And because this is really a partial, I can grab, well, I need to just grab that. There we go. I'm going to grab that, shift select that, and I'm going to move this down. Of course, you'd want to measure, and that looks pretty close, but I'm not doing it for real. And then just take your 2-point line and go from node to node. And you notice when I'm drawing, I kind of go off to one angle and come back so it'll kind of snap to it. Now what you want to do is put this original back over there and smart fill everything. And that's when I kind of discovered that the plan's not going to work. But if we take this, and that's maybe not even what he wants to do. And also for the one I doing it for, I made your duplicate distance 0, 0 because we did make a duplicate. But I hope you understand this line is going to fall out. My suggestion would be to take the virtual segment delete key and delete that outer line. Might be easier to grab it, see what's holding on, and go to object and break the curve apart. Then you could grab this line. You know what, there must have been double lines. And whether, there we go, and then move that back. Sorry. That did not fix the problem. And the indexing line stops it from cutting. So let's remove the indexing line. Now that would work. That will cut out. It'll be one piece. It'll look like that. And you could do, you could make it narrower. You could actually maybe do the outside line. Well, let's just do that. I think it would look a little bit better. Let's move that out of the way. Let's just smart fill the inside line and then left click, right click. Now that would work. And then you just need to put your circle or your loop. But this way, at least your cross is stretched out like you wanted it. I don't know if I like this, but if you like that, if you don't, maybe put another circle in there. But it's real easy to put a hanger on there. If we look what he did, it's a little bit bigger. So I'm going to hold down the shift key and I'm just going to barely have it touch. And before, okay, that's not in the center. So what we can do here is click on this and there's the center of that. Maybe that's why he had the indexing line. And then take this, let's put the indexing line back and then move that to the indexing line. Then it's in the center. And then Control D and hold down the shift key to make your smaller circle. And I would just strongly suggest, instead of welding it, just use your virtual segment delete key. See how the indexing line stops it? And then always take your smart fill tool and do that. And then it's all one piece, and make sure it's red if you're going to cut it out, and make sure it's a hairline so it'll cut. It's not a bad looking cross, but I would almost, I did pretty good ballpark wise. I'm maybe a little bit thinner there than you should be. So the way I do things like this is I would put that cross. Let's just do it. Let's go here and go to object, group, break curve apart, grab that, holding down the shift key and put it on that line. And then make your nudge like 0.25 and grab that triangle and move it in, maybe like that, or maybe change your measurement. So let's go back. Let's change our measurement to 0.35 and grab that item and move it over. That looks pretty good. And then you could take this one, holding down the control button so it'll stay there, and then move it over, and then do the same thing on the bottom and the top. The nudge is the same regardless if it's, so hold down the control button so you won't get off I'm not exactly on the line, but just nudge it up. Now we got the same distance. That's probably the biggest part. The other lines aren't probably as critical, but these triangles would really show off the space up here. Anyway, I hope that gave him an idea or two, and thank you for watching.